Πριν συστήσω την επόμενη ομιλήτριά μας, να σας πω λίγα λόγια για τη Rebecca Wang, που είδατε τώρα. Είναι συνιδιοκτήτρια της εταιρείας U-Noodle, που έχει έδρα στο Σαν Φρανσίσκο. Το U-Noodle παρέχει βοήθεια σε επιχειρήσεις και κυβερνήσεις, βοηθάει την ενίσχυση πρωτοβουλειών επιχειρηματικότητας από τις κυβερνήσεις της Χιλής, της Μαλαισίας, της Κορέας, καθώς και την NASA, και 7 από τα 10 κορυφαία πανεπιστήμια του κόσμου. Συνεργάζεται η U-Noodle με τις εταιρείες Amazon, Microsoft και Intel. Και πρόσφατα η Rebecca Wang κατατάχθηκε στη λίστα του περιοδικού Forbes με τις 20 πιο εμπνευσμένες νέες γυναίκες επιχειρηματίες. Έχει απονεμηθεί από το Παγκόσμιο Οικονομικό Φόρουμ το βραβείο Young Global Leaders στην Rebecca Wang. Έκανε μεταπτυχιακές και τις σπουδές της στο MIT και επίσης αναφέρω ότι με εμπειρία στη χημική, πολιτική και περιβαλλοντική μηχανική κατέχει 3 διπλώματα ευρεσιτεχνίας, το MIT Ideas Prize, είναι και επίσης, κάτι άλλο σημαντικό, ίδρυσε την Clean Tech Open CTO, την εταιρεία με το ισχυρότερο πρόγραμμα καθαρής τεχνολογίας των Ηνωμένων Πολιτειών. Και οι απόφοιτοι των προγραμμάτων της Clean Tech Open έχουν συγκεντρώσει πάνω από $600 εκατομμύρια και έχουν δημιουργήσει περισσότερες από 2.000 θέσεις εργασίας. Αυτά σχετικά με τη Rebecca Wang. Τώρα θα ήθελα να σας συστήσω την επόμενη ομιλήτριά μας, η οποία μου ζήτησε να μην πω τίποτα, να μην τη συστήσω όπως προγραμμάτιζα και σχεδίαζα να τη συστήσω, για να μην δημιουργήσει προκαταλήψεις ή περιμένετε άλλα από αυτήν. Οπότε το μόνο που θα σας πω είναι ότι η Madi SHARMA είναι επιχειρηματίας, διοικεί την Madi Group, έναν όμιλο ιδιωτικών και μη κερδοσκοπικών εταιριών, και είναι μέλος της European Economic και Social Committee. Τα υπόλοιπα θα σας τα πει η ίδια. Ευχαριστώ. Madi, you can begin.
Thank you. Kalimera. I just want to start by thanking the men in the room. We cannot have change unless we have men in the room. So thank you very much for giving your time today. A woman is like a tea bag. She doesn't know her own strength until she's dropped in hot water. I am the most successful person in the world because I wouldn't change my life with anybody else on this planet. How many people can say that? My objective is to get everyone to be able to say that. But it wasn't easy, and how did I get here? At the age of 16, my dad told me that business was no place for a woman. All Indians are going to be doctors, dentists, or pharmacists. At the age of 19, I had an arranged marriage. I arranged it because my parents didn't agree. At the age of 23, I was told I was over-enthusiastic for my job. How can anybody be over-enthusiastic for a job, especially a banking job? At the age of 28, I was told that I would never succeed in anything that I wanted to do because I was a woman. That is by my now ex-husband. Yes. And the reason he's my ex-husband is because he put me on the floor and he kicked me to bits. For 2 days, I couldn't get off the floor. And I'm lying there and thinking, for the whole of my life, people have told me that I couldn't do. This was my opportunity to change my life. And that's what I did. I have no qualifications. I have no skills. I have no training. I had no money. I was a survivor of domestic violence. I had absolutely no confidence. And I decided, as an Asian female, to go into the manufacturing sector. And I started in my kitchen at home with 4 samosas, Indian triangle pastries. I made 4. I sold those 4, I went back, I made 8. I sold the 8, went back, made 12. 8 years later, 10,000 products a week. From my home to 2 factories, both in regeneration areas, and from me to 35 staff. Every single one of my staff long-term unemployed, like me, no qualifications, no skills, and I never in my life have employed anybody on a CV. I am looking for people who want to work, and I am looking to value human capital. This is where we are going wrong, and this is what I want to change. For my work, I became Asian Woman of Achievement, and I'm also recognised as the UK's best boss. Women grow their businesses slower, therefore the returns are slower. Women employ and want to employ, and they want to train. Women take reduced risks. We do not borrow money unless we know we can repay it. Therefore, our businesses tend to be undercapitalised, and undercapitalised businesses fail. But we still fail less than men. We care. We care about our communities, and we do lots of corporate social responsibility for which we don't get recognition. The European values are jobs, decent work, growth, training, and corporate social responsibility. Therefore, women are the ideal targets to be backed by European policymakers. Women businesses, however, or women in business, are not sexy. And that is what we are currently facing. Why? Because the policymakers are male, and sadly, the bankers who are supposed to be supporting us are also mainly male. And this is what we have to change. I want to tell you why we need to change it. And I stole this one from a Greek entrepreneur. If I give you €1 and you give me €1, we each have €1. But if I give you one idea and you give me one idea, we each have 2 ideas. There are 500 million people in the European Union. There are 7 billion people on this planet. If each person only had one idea and that idea was turned into an action, how many of the global problems could we solve? That's all I'm asking, just that ideas can be turned into action. You'll remember, I have no skills, I have no qualifications, I have no training. Millions and millions of people across the planet are like me. We are great entrepreneurs. What do? I have a global business. I don't have an office. I run and use technology, but I can only tell you how to turn on my laptop. I don't have an iPhone. I have no idea how they work. A phone for me is just for calling. I can use email, yes. My largest client is based in the US, and my PA, my personal assistant, is based in Delhi. I have used technology to grow my companies. There's 8 of them. They're all doing different things. One of them is also a back office company where we do IT. And yet I still only know how to turn on a laptop. Most importantly, and you should be well aware of this, 70% of your companies are hackable. And I have a security system where we do security and assessment. It's not a piece of software. It's a human being. 70% of your companies are vulnerable. 70% of your asset, because that's where your customers and your ingredients or your product information is stored. Be aware of it. Still, I have no qualifications. I use my skills to grow my businesses because my skills are me. It's what I believe in. It's what I know I can do. The most important thing is women in business, female entrepreneurship is not a gender issue. It is not a social issue. It is an economic issue, and that is why it needs supporting. In the US, $3.3 trillion was turned over by female entrepreneurs. They employ 7.5 million staff. What are the numbers for the EU? I cannot tell you because the EU does not collect the data. So how can we ever put in any policy measures to move forward if we don't even collect the data? I'd like to know where the 34% came from, because there is no data of all the European member states added together. I'm a member of the European Economic and Social Committee. It's basically an institution in the EU that looks after employers, trade unions, and everybody else. And we look at policy. And last year I wrote this year I wrote a document asking for 4 pieces of policy to support female entrepreneurs. The first one, please, can we collect the data? If we can't measure it, we don't know where we're going. How can we look at the return on investment? Second one, we need to have a business ministry for women based in the economic ministry. We need to get back to this think small first, because it's an economic issue. The third one, we need a representative who understands female entrepreneurship so that we can get rid of the stereotyping. Women are not just hairdressers and beauticians. Women are into technology. Women are engineers. I'm a transporter. Women are tour operators. I'm also doing that. We can do anything, so stop the stereotyping. Get women off the beauty pages and onto the business pages. And please, let's implement gender legislation, because less than 22% of decision-making bodies in the European Union are women. And therefore, how can we be equally accessing the funding that is available? We're not. And the EU is not clarifying how much of that money is actually going to women, and that's what we have to change. I just want to give you one example. There are 900 people in DG Enterprise. DG Enterprise is the European Commission body that looks after entrepreneurship and industry. 10 of those people look after SMEs and entrepreneurs. So 98% of the European economy is looked after by 10 of the 900 people. So think small first, forget it. How many look after female entrepreneurship? 1. Anna Dante is the only person who looks after female entrepreneurship. So the European Union is not serious. The 4 pieces of policy that I've asked for were put into place in 1988 in the US. They doubled the number of female entrepreneurs across 10 years. Will the European Union do it? No, they won't. I have asked. So I need your help to allow us to make the change. There are no excuses, as we've already heard. Crisis? What crisis? Okay, I'm not Greek. But crisis? What crisis? This is an opportunity. 75% of the Forbes 500 companies started in a crisis. Don't use it as an excuse. Don't use it as an excuse that it's difficult to set up a business in Greece. Come to the UK. It's free to set up a business. Please, I shouldn't be saying that, but it's time the Greek government changed and made it easier for Greek entrepreneurs. You have great stakeholders. You have them in the room. Chambers of Commerce. There are 35,000 female entrepreneurs in the Greek Chamber of Commerce. The Academy of Entrepreneurship is based in Greece, based in Athens. Go see them for training. There are so many people who are willing to help. My details are on there. I'm willing to help anybody. I've set up a portal specially for entrepreneurs that we can all help each other. I need you to help me. Gandhi said, you must be the change you want to see. Madi says, you must be the change you want to see. No excuses. Thank you.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. That was inspirational.